Hello, everyone. My name is Voitoon, and today, on the day of recording, the cast list for Big Brother 25 has been released, and we will be going over the brand new 16 players that will be making a name for themselves on this season. Now, this is my first time doing one of these videos, as this is a new channel, but I am confident that I will do a good job in giving you the facts on how this cast will do, both on a gameplay level and as star personalities on this season. Now, I will be rating the new players based on three main qualities: gameplay knowledge, which is how well you know the game of Big Brother, the twists, the turns, and how to maneuver your way through the game in order to get that win. Social awareness, which is another word for personality. Can you be humble? Can you change what you need to change in order to get out of a certain social situation? And third, and the most important in my opinion, the most important, star power. Can you have the ability to just have someone look at you and say, yeah, that person belongs here. I don't want to get rid of them. They are amazing. Now, what is star power, you're wondering? Well, in my opinion, it is just a fan's just natural liking of a player. It is when you can just simply look at a person and say, I believe that they're going to be an instant favorite of mine. If you want further evidence that star power is real and that it's effective, let's go back a little under a year from now when Survivor 43 was premiering. We got the cast list, and myself, Voitoon, looked at the cast and just got instant star power recognition from both Gabler and Cassidy. Even though everyone was all about the Jessies, the Carlas, even the Jameses, I went through that entire season saying, no, it is going to be either Gabler or Cassidy. It is just a feeling that you know in your gut that those are the players that are destined to do great and most likely win. And, and behold, Gabler won, Cassidy got second, and is even now set to premiere in the Challenge USA. Star power? Yes, great star power. But back to Big Brother 25. Before we start going over the 16 new players, let's talk about three legends. Around the time that the cast list was announced, three iconic legends, Danielle Reyes, Brittany Haynes, and Frankie Grande, acted in this little skit for the premiere of Big Brother 25, where they brought in a time laser to rewrite their fates. Essentially, I think they wanted to go back and take down the brigade, reveal Derek as an undercover cop, and change how the jury saw Danielle Reyes. I think that's how they were going to do it. And honestly, I don't think they thought it all through. But their time laser failed, probably sabotaged by the Meow Meow Enzo, and that resulted in a big problem in the Big Brother house. where in the video it sort of seemed like the house morphed into certain aspects from the Big Brother 3, 12, and 16 houses. Anyway, if you haven't seen the video yet, I'll put a link down in the description so you can check it out yourself. It's actually one of the better Big Brother videos where it's them acting, and I'm using air quotes right now. Now, back to the 16 new players from this cast. We will be going from in alphabetical order, and along the way we will be discussing the attributes that I described earlier in the video. Now, let's start with America. She is 27, hometown Edinburgh, Texas, but she currently lives in Brooklyn, New York. She is a medical receptionist. Fun fact, she also went to an Ivy League school and has an Ivy League degree. Now, my thoughts on America are she's obviously a very beautiful, stunning woman. She gives me Alyssa vibes, and if we're talking the past 2 years, Alyssa Lopez versus Alyssa Snyder, she feels like she has the strategic chops as Alyssa Lopez, but she might have the flirty styles of Alyssa Snyder. Now, star power is 5 out of 5, honestly, for America, but I am worried that she could be perceived as an easy target, someone to put on the block repeatedly, and someone that could go home pre-jury. Now, do I hope that doesn't happen? Yes. Do I think it will happen? I'm 50-50 on that. One side on the other shoulder and the other on the other. But if she's giving off Alyssa vibes from either season, then she could potentially go far if she gets past the pre-jury phase, because Alyssa Lopez got 7th, while Alyssa Snyder got 5th. So here's hoping that America does well. Go America. Okay, next we have Blue. We have America, we have Blue, and later down the line we will talk about Red. Okay, Blue. She is 25 years old, hometown Riverside, California, current city New York City, I'm assuming, New York. She is a brand strategist. A brand strategist going into a game about strategy. Interesting. Now, star power, gut feeling. I don't feel as confident in Blue as I do about America, but strongly enough to give her a 4 out of 5. And same a bit with America. I can see her going on the block a few times in the pre-jury phase, but I can also see her making it deeper into the game. As far as winning potential goes, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I do believe that Blue is someone to look out for. Someone that I feel like can be someone that's iconic within Big Brother for years down to come. As long as she's not one of the first 2 boots. Now, next, we have Bowie Jane. The Bowie Jane. Bowie Jane from downtown. She is 45 years old. She originally came from Australia, Melbourne, Australia. Our first Australian native to come onto US Big Brother and not be on Big Brother Australia, which is another scene all on its own. Yikes. Big Brother Australia is very complicated if you don't know what you're talking about, which I don't. She currently lives in Los Angeles, California. She's currently a barista slash DJ. Yeah. Now, as far as star power goes, we seem to be going down the chain. America was a 5, Blue was a 4. I want to give Bowie Jane a 3, but I can be persuaded if she has a good premiere to give her a 4. Now, do I think Bowie Jane can do well on this season? Yes, I don't. Based on the promotional material, I know she looks fit. She's tall, and she looks like someone that can be relatable and understanding towards other people in the house. So I don't think she'll be a potential early target. I can see her being a midway through target, going on the block a few times, but I do think we'll see Bowie Jane in the jury. Don't quote me on it, but I do think it's potentially there. Do I think she could go to the end? I'm not sure. She's highly charismatic, and when it comes to Big Brother juries, they always are terrified more about a likable person than a person that has been guiding the game. Do I think so? I can see Bowie Jane getting to like the 5th or 6th jury placement. And to get further, she has to be one massive strategist. But no matter how hard Bowie Jane gets in this season, we're going to be. I want to say some cheesy Australian quote, but I can't think of it right now. Bowie Jane, ladies and gentlemen. Now, up next is Cameron Harding, age 35. He's hometown Eastman, Georgia. Occupation, he's a stay-at-home dad. Now, as for star power, I'm not feeling with Cameron. Like, I'm just not feeling it. I don't. No, I'm just not feeling it. Simple as that. Cameron sort of reminds me of one of those, like, Daves. A Dave that you sort of, like, go to a bar and, like, you just meet at the bar stand, and you're, like, sort of tipsy, and you look at someone and, like, you go, like, yeah, he's a Dave. He has massive Dave energy. And honestly, that's Cameron. Just purely off of first look, first instinct, he's a Dave. Now, do I think he could potentially go far? I can see Cameron being one of those like broy guys that wants to just be in a massive guy alliance, and that can make him go far. But I don't think he can go far and make it to the end and win. I can see him either going home in the third, fourth, or fifth position in the pre-jury, or be an early jury vote. I just don't see Cameron going far into this game. As for star power, official star ratings, I'm giving him a half a star to a full star. Sorry, Cameron, but you're not on my radar. Okay, next one up is a personal favorite of mine, and I think will be a real star of the season. Corey Wartenberg, age 21, hometown Weston, Florida. Occupation, well, he's a college student. Now, fun fact about Corey is that he's actually a relative of a former CBS reality competition series. He is the younger brother of Zach Wartenberg, the first boot of Survivor 42. Now, since Survivor ended, I've actually followed Zach on multiple of his Survivor videos on his YouTube page. And even though Zach was the first boot of his season, the kid has got some really good strategic chops. And if it wasn't for his physical size on Survivor, he would have been a powerhouse of a strategic player on his season. Now, I don't know if the attributes carried on to his brother, but I think Big Brother is much more suited for either Zach or Corey, just because on Survivor you have to be physically strong enough for the challenges, and neither of the Wartenbergs seem to have the muscles just bulging out of their eyeballs. But on Big Brother, that is not a deficit. If anything, that's a plus because you're not perceived as a physical threat immediately. I believe Corey can go far in this season, which is why I'm giving him star ratings 5. 5 stars. I might be biased because I am a massive Survivor fan, but I believe Corey has what it takes to be a strategic, social, and all around Big Brother player to go to the end and potentially win. As long as as long as he's not out of the numbers or does not get cocky near the end, I think we're looking at one of those players that will be great for Big Brother and bringing massive light to this season. So, Corey Wartenberg, the brother of Survivor 42's Zach Wartenberg, 5 stars, someone to look out for in this season. I'm sensing massive fan favorite. As long as he's not the first boot like his brother. Oh, please, don't be the first boot and bring some Wartenberger curse on your family. Okay, now, next. We have Felicia Cannon, age 63, hometown Tacoma, Washington, currently lives in Kennesaw, Georgia, and she is an real estate agent. Now, Felicia is 63, the oldest woman on the cast, oldest woman of the season, and oldest player of the season. And, fun fact, second oldest player to ever play US Big Brother behind season 10's Jim. No, Jerry. It's Jerry. Now, the star power on Felicia is not very bright, to say the least. Not old, the older players on Big Brother are always hard to read. Big Brother's just players are harder to read, but the older players are most especially hard to read. I want to give Felicia a 1 to 2. I'll give Felicia a 2 star rating. When it comes to the older players of Big Brother, it goes either one of 2 ways. They're early boots in the pre-jury, or they get deep into the game, but never really have enough agency and get clipped at the 6-5 player marking. The oldest player to make it furthest was actually Jerry in Big Brother Season 10, but he got clipped at the final 3. Do I think Felicia is a Jerry, though? No. From Felicia, I sense more of a Terrence from last season or Steve from Big Brother 20. I'm not confident that Felicia will be a star player of the season, but she might be entertaining. I'll give her that. That's all I got on Felicia, and maybe I'm wrong. I honestly hope I am wrong, but that's just my feelings on Felicia as of right now. Okay, next one up. Hissam Goulier, age 45, hometown Minneapolis, Minnesota, current city Seattle, Washington. He is a geriatric physician. Now, Hissam, the player that I see him most like is honestly season 19's Matt. From Matt and Raven. I want to give Hissam a 4. I can see this guy being one of those leaders of a big guy alliance that wants to stick together. I can see Hissam being one of those players that is in charge, wants to control the game. Do I think he can do that? Yes, but along the line when he gets to the jury stage, which honestly I think he won't have a problem getting to that stage. I see the grin, I see the smile, I see he's just one of those players that I know it would take a miracle, less a miracle, more like a massive fumble for him not to get to the jury stage. Anyway, when he does get to the jury stage, he's going to have to maneuver through that to get to the end, because I see him being one of those players that people see as someone that they need to get out or someone that they want to get out for their resume. Hissam will have no problems getting to the deep stage of the game, but from there he needs to play his hardest to get to the end and try to win. But I'm giving Hissam 4 stars, and I honestly think he's someone to look out for a potential winner. Do I think it's likely? Yes, but he's going to have to maneuver his way through the end stage. Okay, next up, we have Izzy Gleicher, age 32, hometown New York City, New York. Occupation, a professional flutist. I did my best flute impression. I've never actually played the flute, only a cello. No, recorder, I meant recorder. Anyway, Izzy is a hard player to read, but I'm giving Izzy a 3-star rating. I think that in the early stages of the game, I think she's going to have it's going to be harder for her to connect with people, but she is one of those players that just give her time and she will connect with everyone, become everyone's best friend. It's just not going to happen in the first week. So if she can get past the first week, then she's got a real shot at going deep into the game. But when she gets to that deep stage in the game, I'm thinking like early to mid jury stage, that's when that same problem is going to come back to her and she's going to become a public target again. Now, do I think she can maneuver her way through that portion of the game a second time? I'm cautiously optimistic. Izzy reminds me of a player like Evie in Survivor 41, where her very clear strengths and savviness can come back to her in that portion of a game. Now, 3-star rating for Izzy simply because I'm cautiously optimistic about how far she can get. Do I think she can get far and prove me wrong? Yes. Am I expecting it? 75 to 25%, best I'm going to give. If Izzy can prove me wrong, I'm all for it. But for now, 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm predicting either first boot or early jury member. Okay, next one up, we have the one and only Jag Baines, age 25, hometown Olmec, Washington, and occupation, he's an entrepreneurial slash truck company owner. So he owns the truck company that he works at. Alright, now, first impressions of Jag. When I first saw the cast photo, I thought, he reminds me a lot he reminds me of Jam Jam, the winner of last season of Survivor. He has a beard, he has a smile. He and Jam Jam even have a similar shaped nose, which was a surprise to me. Anyway, I have strong feelings for Jag. I think that based off his interviews and all the research I've done, he has the potential to go very far into this game. He's he's personal, he's funny, he has the strategic chops to get into a big alliance. The only worry I have for him to be an early vote is if he gets ahead of himself and he lets the game play him. But otherwise, I see his charming and overcoming personality just take him far into the game, and in that position, I see him not going on the block for a few rounds, similar to like a Matt Turner from last season. So, in Jag's case, all he has to do is get past the final 4 position and then the final 3 position, and then he has a chance to get to the final 2 and potentially winning. So, for Jag, I give him a 5-star rating, same as America and Corey. And I think Jag is someone to look out for this season, someone to watch for this season. He has potential to be an all-around player. Oh, fun fact, he is also the first person on US Big Brother to be native from Shriek? Yeah, Shriek. Okay, that's Jag for you. Okay, next one up, we have Jared Fields, the son of Survivor and the Traitors, Cirie Fields. He is 25 years old. He's from Norwalk, Kentucky, and he works as an exterminator. Now, Jared Fields is obviously Jared Fields is someone that I believe that has the strategic chops. His mother is Cirie Fields, the legend of Survivor. So I think he has real potential to go far into this game. He has all the attributes of a Big Brother and a Survivor player put into one, and if he learned a lot from his mother, which I undoubtedly believe he did, he has the same potential as Cirie. I can see him going far into the game. He knows how to socially position himself to be in the best position in the house. The only reason I'm not giving Jared a 5 like I did with America, Corey, and Chag, but instead of 4, is because I don't know how Jared will do under pressure. When every time Cirie has been put in a position of pressure in Survivor, she was always able to adapt and to slide her way further. I don't know how Jared does under pressure, so it's possible that he can do the same as Cirie, but there's also a chance that he will break down and he'll be out the door before he can say, Cirie who? But otherwise, Jared is someone to definitely look out for this season. 4 out of 5 star rating. I think that if Jared can do well under the pressure of Big Brother, he has potential to be a great player. Okay, next we have Kristen Elwig, age 25, hometown of Orlando, Florida, via the Dominican. She currently lives in Houston, Texas, and she's a molecular biologist. Okay, first thing I have to note from this cast photo, she's stunning, obviously. Right now, I can't decide between her and another contestant we'll talk about later, that whether either she or the other sort of reminds me more of like a Taylor from the winner of last season. But I think that between the two of them, I think Kristen has less potential to go far into this game. No, I'm thinking of the other. Yeah. I think Kristen is not very sure of how she'll do in the game. I think she might be winging it a little bit. But I think if she can get her act together, she has the potential to go far into the game, but only if she is including the big alliance. If she's not, then I can see her being an early vote on the block and could potentially go on the block several times. Star power for Christian, I'm giving her a 3, honestly. That's all. Okay, next we have Luke Valentine, age 30 years old, hometown Weston, Florida. Another person from Weston, Florida. Currently lives in Coral Springs, Florida, and he is an illustrator. Okay. I'm not confident in Luke. Remember when I said about Christian winging it? I think Luke is even more winging it. He has the brains of I'm not confident in Luke, simple as that. He sort of reminds me of the first boot of Big Brother 15. I believe his name was David, where he was confident the whole week he wasn't going to go home, but then he was voted out simply because he was on the block and he was the biggest physical threat in the game. I Luke sort of reminds me of that, where he can. I think his physical size will catch up to him early on rather than later. And he's sort of like the typical surfer bro, just wants to chill and hang out. I think that mindset will catch up to him sooner rather than later, and he'll see himself out the door quickly. Unless he's more sociable than I initially think. I'm giving Luke a 2 out of 5 star rating. I think he'll be an early vote. His ego or lack of a strategic social game will catch up to him sooner rather than later. Okay, next one up we have is Matt Klotz, age 27, hometown Cameron Park, California, currently lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Occupation, he is a Deaf Olympics gold medalist, which, if you're not familiar with the Deaf Olympics, it's essentially like the Olympics but for deaf people. Now, my original thoughts on Matt are he reminds me of like Tyler Crispin from Big Brother 20 and now soon the Challenge USA. I want to believe that Matt has the capabilities of Tyler, but I'm on the fence about that. He it was between him or Luke, who I believe would be the whole surfer bro aesthetic of the season. I went more with Luke rather than Matt, but I could go either way. It depends on how either of them start during the season. But anyway, Matt, I think his disability will honestly help him in the social aspects of the game, in getting into an alliance. But I think the further he gets in the game, the more people realize this guy can potentially get the sympathy votes and win, and no one wants to go up against that in the end. So he can get far into the game, but when it comes down to the final seven, the final six, or the final five, people see him as someone that they need to cut because if he gets to the end, he can potentially win based off the sympathy votes. So, out of star power, I'm giving Matt a 3 to 4 out of 5. Not because I think he won't do well, but because I don't see a path for him to get to the end. Unless he's a comp beast. As for the loftier goals of having Matt on the cast, I honestly think that Matt will be a great representative of his community, the deaf community, and I'm excited to see what a Deaf Olympics gold medalist can do in this game. We've seen deaf people on reality TV both do really well and do really poorly. Like for Raven in The Circle, who did really well and everyone liked her. We've also seen deaf people not do very well, like for Christy back in The Amazon. I'm excited to see what Matt can do, and I believe that he'll be a great representative and player on this season. Okay, next up, we have the goddess herself, Nicole Hayes, age 30, hometown St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri. Sorry, brain fart. The current city, Upper Marlboro, Minnesota. Yeah. Now, her occupation is as a political consultant. Now, earlier I mentioned how Kristen was similar to another player on this cast. I believe this is, I was talking before about Nicole. Only the difference between Kristen and Nicole. I think Nicole is much more similar to Taylor from last season. I can definitely see that. And also, Nicole also reminds me of another former player, Dominique from Big Brother 19. Now, Taylor and Dominique, in my opinion, are very similar. The only difference is that Dominique had to go up against Paul in her season, and she ultimately lost the battle. Now, I think Nicole has potential of both Taylor and Dominique. The only problem will be that she could run her mouth too much, and she can get the boot early like Dominique did in her season. But if she's also like Taylor, then she can withstand the endurance and keep on. I want to say trucking. Keep on trucking. Now, how well do I think she'll do in the game? I think she'll struggle early, like Taylor and Dominique did, but if she can get past the early stages, then I believe she can go far. And if we want to believe the track record of recent survivors, recent Big Brother seasons, I see Nicole going to the deep stage of the game. And I want to see someone in the politics realm make it further into the game, because so far they have not done well in this game. But I believe that Nicole can be one of those players that breaks that cycle. I believe Nicole will do well in this season, and I'm giving her a 4-star rating. I'm not confident that she can win, but I believe she can do it. All right, next one up, we have Hillbilly Central. We have Red Utley, age 37, hometown to Gateland, Tennessee, and he's in sales. Now, first look at this. Red is highly energetic. He's a fun personality, and he's the cowboy of the season. We have every season. We have the surfer bro, the mathematician, and the cowboy. Red is our cowboy. And now I can finally say it. We have red, we have blue, and we have America. Or sweet. Now, when I think about all the other cowboys aesthetics, the rednecks, I'm cautiously optimistic about Red, but that he can be a good player. But first person that I think about when I see Red, I see Frenchie from Big Brother 23, which when you first hear it, it's a worry because Frenchie essentially played himself out of the game. But when Big Brother 23 was in his preseason, I was actually very high on Frenchie at first. I thought he can go deep. And he showed in his first week that he can do it, but he kept playing himself over and over and over again. So I believe Red has the similar potential that Frenchie does, or did. He just cannot play himself too hard and end up getting in his own way. Because that will be bad. If Red can do that, I believe he has the potential to go far into the season. I don't know if he can make it to the end, but I believe he can make it far into the games to have a notable impact, which is why I'm giving Red a 4-star rating. Not someone to have on your winner list, but someone that will definitely be a notable addition to this season. All right. Last up, our final contestant, we have a blonde, Riley Smeedley, age 24, hometown Portland, Maine. Sorry about that. Got a little mixed up since there are two Portlands, one in Oregon, one in Maine. But she currently lives in Nashville, Tennessee, where she works as a bartender. Now, let's look at the blonde bombshell with her face all, I'm not sensing high potential for Riley. I think she was brought on to be the pretty girl to be being a showman on the season with. I don't see Riley going far into the season. I'm giving her a 2-star at most. Sorry, Riley, but you're just not on my radar. You could be a nice girl, but I don't see potential for you to go far into this game. Sorry, that's my opinion. If it turns out to be wrong, I'll eat my words. I just don't see high potential for Riley. I see her being an early eviction early on. That's my opinion. Okay, so now that we got the whole cast out of the way, I want to talk about my views on the cast as a whole for a couple minutes. Now, I really do like this cast. It's fresh, it's new. It's a similar feeling that I got when Big Brother 23 was coming on to a premiere. I like that feeling. It's a good feeling. I have a good feeling about this cast. I'm happy about it. Now, as far as who I think you should not look out for, who's at the bottom of the list, for the guys, I want to say Luke, and for the women, I want to say Kristen. I have the least amount of feelings that they'll do well in the season. They're at the bottom of the list. I suspect they'll be out early on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's my opinion. Now, as for my winner picks, I want to go with a man and a woman because it's always safe to have two options, one for each gender. That way you're covered on both ends, and well, that's what I did in Survivor 43, and it turned out to be the greatest decision I ever made. So that's what we're doing again. Now, my winner picks for the women, I want to go with America. Simply because I got the best vibe from her. I think that she knows what she's doing. As long as she gets past the early stage, I think she can go deep into the season. And for the guys, I want to play it safe and go a little bit closer to home. I am going with Corey Wartenberger. The kid's sharp, smart, and as long as he's not the first boot, I believe he will do great on this season. I think Big Brother is much more made for the Wartenbergers than Survivor. So I believe that Corey can maneuver his way through the game and get to the end to win. Okay, it's all done. We went through the entire cast. Big Brother 25 will be premiering tomorrow on Wednesday, 8/7 Central. I am feeling confident that this will be a really good season, one for the books. Now, if you felt unsatisfied with this video, I'll be putting links in the description to some channels that I have learned from over the years the Meridian Review, TV Talks with Tom, and you should really check out the podcast done by two legends of the Big Brother game, Derek Levasseur and Cody Calafiore, the Hitmen. They run their own podcast, The Winner's Circle. It's really good. You should check it out. All three links will be down in the description, along with the video I mentioned earlier. Earlier was the Big Brother Legends and the Time Laser. Anyway, this is a new channel. I plan on making more of these videos down the line, such as next week I'll be going over the cast of the Challenge USA 2 and my opinions on how that will all go. So please like, share, and subscribe. And see you all next time.